stay lying down.
Okay, no worries. Ready? Okay, so we'll start now. So we're on pandemic 11 weeks now, pandemic. This is class 21, so this is part 2 of the quantum bodies and the auric layers. So last week we did the first 6 layers, which covered the physical plane and the astral plane. And now as we go from the 6th to the 12th, we are coming into the spiritual planes, the higher aspects of our being and our field. And we will work our way through as we did last week. We'll start by bringing the energy in, activating the third eye, and then we'll use the chakras from head to root. Last time I kind of said just to do to 3, but I think it's good if we can move scan our hands up and down, going from the third eye all the way to the root. And we'll use the plucking technique and the rotational technique to clear and soothe and nurture those layers. I'll just mention a little bit about the biofield in terms of what some of the new science is kind of saying about it. So some of the new science that people who are doing healing in this area have done their own research and written their own books about it. And they've all kind of expressed how difficult it was to get academics on board to give them proper physics, and a lot of people wouldn't speak to them. So eventually they did find somebody, and they actually ended up doing a lot of the research themselves. So some of the kind of concepts now are saying basically that the auric field, the bubble which surrounds us, is made out of plasma, which is the fourth matter? Is it fourth? I've written that down somewhere anyway. Fourth state of matter, yes, it's the fourth state. So you got the liquid, gas, solid. So plasma is a type of gas, but it's an ionized gas, which means that the ions and electrons have separated. So the fact that the electrons are separated means that it conducts electricity. So this is why it's an electromagnetic field. And other examples of plasma are also the sun. The sun is classified as a plasma. So that's a big one to show how we can connect with the sun's energy, and which we've done in the past to do healing with the sun. The Earth's magnetosphere, our magnetic protection, that's also said to be plasma. Solar winds from the sun are plasma, electrically charged. Nebulas are plasmas, electrified, which are glowing. So that's where the glowing essence comes from. Lightning is a plasma. And also the northern lights, which are, they come from the effect of the solar winds interacting with our magnetosphere. So there's been some new science and possible new technologies which will be harnessing the power of plasma for healing. So there's apparently a machine that's being developed which helps speed up wound healing, and that's using a plasma based kind of machine which will emit this kind of electrically charged gas. And also, plasma can have a few different forms that it can take on. It can take on forms such as cells, sheaths, or filaments. So you can see like our electromagnetic field, which covers us, could also be seen as a sheath or layers of sheaths. And the filaments are said to be twisting helical spirals, almost look like DNA shapes. And these filaments naturally occur in space and the cosmos. And they are like strings, and they travel for millions and millions of light years, and they conduct current. So galaxies which form clusters are using these filaments, which are made out of plasma, to conduct electricity across huge distances. So it's another step to show like how the universe is connected via this plasma. And you can have double layered sheets. Okay, so that's something which is sat within another boundary, an outer boundary. So, for example, Earth's magnetosphere is the outer layer of our plasma bubble, the Earth's plasma bubble. The sun has its heliosphere, which is absolutely enormous. And I think the Earth actually sits inside the sun's heliosphere. So that's like an example of double layered, where one bubble can sit inside another bubble. So it forms a container. And so each bubble has its own characteristics in terms of its own voltage, its own temperature, its own density and chemical properties. So these cells can sit within larger cells. So it's as if the same principle as if like how all of our cells put together make up a body. And if you think on a wider scale, all these different cells in terms of plasma bubbles. So our plasma bubble sitting inside the Earth's plasma bubble. The Earth's plasma bubble is sitting inside the sun's plasma bubble, called the heliosphere, and then so on in terms of galaxies and stuff. So you can see that the whole universe is a living organism, all sat inside each other, and all connected via this plasma. So when we're doing our healing and using our healing on our layers, we are kind of picking up on these essences and characteristics of all these other energies from all these other layers. So I would kind of like, my intuition says like when we're bringing in the universal life force energy, we're actually bringing in the energy from these plasma bubbles, from the Earth, from the sun, from wider galaxies. So it's just this another indication and another way of explaining how we bring this energy in and what is this energy. So that's why working on our auric field is very important, and I think it's an integral step in terms of our own self-empowerment and our self-healing, which has results which are, absolutely amazing and astounding. And as you start to do more with your biofield, you will start to see the knock-on effect it has on your physical and mental, and also your spiritual powers. So that's why I thought it was really important to get into this now. And I think I waited 20 classes to properly get stuck into this. So everybody's had a nice long ease in. So let's crack on with the 6 layers. So the 6 layers today are, the 6th layer is open to choices and enacts decisions. The 7th one is connects with spirits and spirit broadcasts spiritual decisions. The 8th is broadcasts karma and absorbs power. The 9th is connects with others based on soul issues. And the 10th is mirrors beliefs, serves as a second self. Okay, and the 11th is commandeers force, and the 12th is our very outer layer, which links with the energy egg. Okay, it connects human and divine self. So it's called the energy egg because it's our very last layer of shielding. It's also said to be the thickest. And I mentioned the 10th layer, which is mirrors beliefs and serves as a second self. The interesting thing about this 10th auric layer, even though it's the 10th auric layer, it doesn't actually reside 10 inches from us, or wherever we go to like 5 foot and say that's the outer limit of our field. The 10th layer actually resides very close to the body. So if you see on this diagram here, it says, where is it? It says here, the 10th layer, and the arrow is actually pointing very, very close to the body. So what this is mirrors beliefs and serves as a second self. So it's a very important layer because it's a spiritual layer, but it's also very close to the body. Whereas all the other spiritual planes are meant to be on the outside. So it really tells us a lot about this layer. As it serves as a second self, it can be probably seen as a relay that's close to the body that brings all of this higher guidance and this higher energy into the body. And that's why I think they've termed it as a second self, because it could be also known as maybe the layer that's the higher self. So that's just me kind of reading into it and just trying to use my intuition to how that actually can be described. So that's very interesting layer. So as we're working out, we're suddenly going to come back to do this 10th layer. Okay, so just wanted to explain that now, so it wasn't confusing later on. Okay, so let's begin now. With our usual, tune in, close your eyes, take your gaze inwards to the third eye, to your brow chakra area, the third eye chakra. Let's take a few deep breaths in and out, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just releasing and elongating that exhale. Release any tension, any anxiety, any heaviness from the day, from the week. Really clearing your lungs out. Take more than 3 if you need. Okay, nice steady breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Always remember the breath throughout the whole session. Try to come back to the breath. If your mind wanders, just come back to the breath. Come back to the circuit, come back to the breath. Okay, so let's start. The Reiki initiates out there. Bring the energy in. Set your intention, call in your guides, your masters, teachers, etc. Put on your protection. For the rest of us, I will guide us as well. And for the rest of us as well, don't worry, I put out a massive energetic protection for anybody who's tuning in. So don't worry saying, oh, I don't know how to do protection. Don't worry, I've got you. Okay, so for the rest of us, whoever's listening, so let's just imagine our field, our auric field, that encompasses our body. Imagine an opening up top, a funnel above our crown. And as we breathe in, just imagine the energy, the universal life force energy coming into the crown chakra, See the crown chakra as a 1,000-petal lotus. See those lotus leaves as a receiver for the conduit, which is our human body system. See the energy coming down to the crown, to the third eye, which is indigo, moving down to the throat, which is blue, coming into the heart, which is green. And take our hands to our heart chakra. Rub the hands together, create some kinetic energy, and just take our awareness and tuning into our palms. And settling at your heart chakra. Just imagine this energy and visualize this energy coming in through the system, coming to the heart. When it reaches the heart, splitting to go through each shoulder, each arm, each forearm, and coming out of the center of our palms where our hand chakras lie, and coming out of our fingertips. Just keep your awareness on the breath and keep your awareness on the circuit and the energy coming in. And just have that intention and knowing and trust that with each breath in, the energy is being drawn into our system. The breath drives the prana and the energy too. Let's take our awareness to the palms. Take our heart into the palms. The heart, the most powerful electromagnetic organ, over 10,000 cells creating electromagnetism. And start to see and feel and know the energy pumping out of our palms, building up. And bring a 1-inch gap in. Just know that the energy is building up between our hands. This meditation is called Gassho meditation. It's a Reiki meditation to activate and connect the hands to the heart, to the rest of the system. Okay, and that's energy and charge, pressure building up. Keep adding a 1-inch gap, 1 inch to the gap, sorry. Just keep moving, micro movements in and out just to test that pressure. You may feel tingling or heat, or even pressure and pushing. And really taking our awareness into the palms, to the sensitivity of the nerves on our skin. Really tuning in, taking a whole awareness into the hands. Keep going with the gaps, keep adding more inches until we get to basketball, football size. Just visualize energy collecting in this space. You can see it as an energy ball, whirling, swirling light. Just imagine that power there. You can see it as rainbow light, green light, or white light. Okay, and once you've got to a nice round football-sized size, start to move it upwards. Keep testing the pressure, micro movements in and out, just so you know it's there. Moving it up towards the third eye as we're going to absorb and embed into the third eye to activate our third eye for all the healing today, to help us with our inner visualizations and our inner sight. When you've got it to your third eye, nice deep breath in, and take your hands to the brow. In and out, breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, just absorbing that energy. And we can just collect any residues, any energy which may be lingering outside. Just gather it up with your palms, just wafting it into your third eye area, and then settling in with your palms on your forehead, fingers just going over the scalp. And just tuning into our third eye, which is indigo coloured. Just see it as an indigo chakra, indigo wheel, swirling power energy center. And start to see it becoming brighter. Start to see it rotating more, vibrating more, taking on more true purple, cleaner purple, brighter purple. Just have an intention of activating and energizing our third eye. Nice, even breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay. Relax your hands, just you can bring your hands back down to your knees and just keep focusing on the third eye. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're just going to share this energy down through our system. So if we just take our hands to the throat chakra, we're just going to tune into the third eye and just share and distribute this energy down through the system to the throat chakra, which is blue. What we're doing here is just activating our spiritual centers first, so we're tuning in with our system to ready to do our biofield work. Just imagine that energy drawing down from the third eye to the throat, purple joining with the blue. And sliding your hands down to your heart chakra, just guiding that energy to the green center of the heart chakra, and linking the heart to the third eye and the throat. You can see the purple of the third eye joining with the blue of the throat. Those colours coming and mingling with the heart chakra, which is green. You've got purple, blue, and green shooting up and down, freely moving up and down, sharing energy, connecting to each other. Because our heart organ is so powerful, the heart chakra is our energetic version of our heart, very electromagnetically powerful. Okay, we're going to move out from here as the heart has its own field, so it's a good place to link and tune into the biofield and move out into the layers. Okay, so rather than just shooting to the 6 layers, we're just going to spend 30 seconds on the first 6 just to do a full integrated practice so that you know in the future how to do that as well. Okay, so let's move to 1 inch outside of our bodies. First auric layer, protection of life energies, Okay. We're just going to scan our hands up and down, starting from the heart, going up to the third eye, tuning in to the first layer with the intention of empowering and energizing our protection of our life energies. And just moving our hands slowly down from the third eye down through all of the chakra points, staying as, as precisely as we can within 1 inch. Our first auric layer, protection of life energies, very important layer for our physical body, our cells, our muscle growth, any injuries, really important layer. Moving all the way to the root and then back up. We'll do 3 scans, 3 movements up and down, and then we'll move to the next layer. And you can just have that affirmation and repeat in your mind. I'm self-healing for the highest and greatest good. My first layer, protection of life energies. Okay, and then we settle back to the heart. When you've done those 3 scans up and down. Okay, in the second auric layer, screens, feelings and emotions. Just move to 2 inches. And move up to the third eye. And the intention of working on our healing, our second auric layer. Screen for feelings and emotions. Just energizing and empowering and ensuring our screen for feelings and emotions is working at full capacity. Scanning from the third eye to the root and then back up and then back down. Nice even breathing as well as you go through, remember, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, back to the heart. And then we go to the third layer, our filter for ideas and beliefs. Whether these are our own ideas and beliefs or others' ideas and beliefs, this is our filter which helps protect our psyche from ideas and beliefs, whether exterior or interior. Third auric layer, just working about 3 inches away. Scanning to the third eye, back down to the root, and back up again. And even though we're not spending enough time here, just know that every second is an eternity in the universe's eyes, as time is only a concept on the 3D realms. And we can trust in the intelligence of the energy that a fair good amount of healing is being done even in 10 to 30 seconds. Okay, after 3 scans, come back to the heart, we move to the 4th layer, attracts and repels relationships. Important layer for living in the society that we do with other human beings, differentiating and having our layer between who to make friends with, who to not make friends with, who we choose to create relationships with. And so we make wise character assessments, which is for the best and the highest and greatest good for ourselves and our system. Attracts and repels relationships. 4th layer. So do 3 hands up and down from the third eye to the root. Bring back to the heart. And then the 5th layer, attracts and repels and sends guidance. Okay. So take that 5 inches. And if you kind of lose where you are depth-wise, you can always just come back to the body and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and count out 5 inches again. And scan up from the heart. And then all the way down to the root. third eye and down to the root again. Just do it 3 times, and coming back up and back to the heart. And our intention there was healing to the 5th auric layer, which attracts and repels and sends guidance. Okay, as we come back to the heart, now we will go to the 6th layer, which is the first part of today, part 2. So the 6th layer now we are entering the spiritual plane, okay, which is a part of the Ketheric body. So remember I mentioned in the first part last week that the 12 layers are categorized within bodies within each plane. So they're like subsections within each larger plane. And the 3 planes were physical, astral, and spiritual. So in the spiritual plane, we have 3 bodies, which are the Ketheric body, the celestial body, and the etheric template. Okay, and I'll just mention again what those are related to. So in the spiritual plane, the Ketheric body is linked to God or Creator. Celestial body is linked to the solar system and planets. Etheric template is for life, energy, and prana, and the distribution and connection. Okay, so very awesome layers. Okay, so 6 inches, 6th layer, about 6 increments away from your body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Starting from the heart, okay, and we're scanning up to the 3rd eye and then back to the root. And just do this nice and steady. Take your time. Nice and steady, nice and slow, so you can pick up on any feedback in your hands or within your 3rd eye, within your system. And the affirmation is, the highest and greatest good, I heal my 6th auric layer, which is opens to choices and enacts decisions, okay? Our decision making. The choices we make, the decisions we make, which is a part of the Ketheric body, which is our link to God and Creator. So it kind of points towards that some of the decisions and choices we make, the fact that they're in the Ketheric body, which links to God and Creator, links that. The decisions and choices we make have a really higher guidance, okay? We may go through a sense of logic, a sense of intuition, a gut feeling when we do make any decisions and choices, but there also is this sense of a higher power helping us to make those decisions. So this 6th layer will help us bring in that higher guidance for our decision making and choice making. So as we're scanning up and down, anything that comes to your attention and awareness, whether it's a bit of pressure, a bit of temperature, tingling or pain, or some sort of nervous twitch, there's little indications that there may be some heaviness there, or a gap, or something which needs to be cleared. So when you pick up on this, you can use the plucking technique within the 6th layer, just tuning in on that heaviness or that spot, and you're just plucking it away, plucking it out of the system. Followed by plucking, rotational healing, okay? Just rotating nice and slowly, which is soothing and patching out and leveling up that layer. Just resealing any gaps or anything was there or protruding once we pluck it away. Okay, so this is all about tuning in. Okay, any little tiny little instinct or intuition that comes up, just to act on it, okay? You can't overdo this healing. Plucking and then rotation to soothe it out. And as you're doing the plucking, you have in your mind, you're plucking and clearing this blockage or this gap in the layer. When we're rotating, you have the intention of soothing and sealing and making that layer one and true. And it's up to you whether you do two hands or one hand. Just really just go with the flow and see how your body responds to the energy and the process. And as we do at the beginning when we do the Gasha meditation and do the energy bowl, you can do slight micro movements in and out of that layer and just see if you get any feedback. And see how it feels once you've done the healing. It may change, you could feel a difference. And if you do something to near the third eye area, do some healing there. And when you scan down, and we come to say like the sacral or the solar plexus, you might think, well, that now feels different to the last scan. Just as we do work somewhere, it can shift things in different parts of that layer or highlight things that weren't showing up before. So then work again in that bit. Let's do some more plucking. Okay. And then you also may be guided that your hands may want to come round to the left or the right. You know, as the biofield is 360 degrees all directions. Yeah, it could be that your hand is being magnetized to come round to the right a bit more. And please feel free to move in all directions and do some plucking on the side. As the chakras, energies come in and out through the front, also emitting out the back, also coming out the sides, okay? Just don't feel restricted in this healing, really going with the flow and guiding yourself with what feels right to you and your own intuition, feelings, and emotions. Let them guide you. Everything you do is for the highest and greatest good. Okay. Once you feel like you've got to a good point with that, plucking's finished. We'll just finish with just rotating all the way through from the third eye to the root in that sixth layer. Just one final nurture, soothing movement to level up and to harmonize that into one true layer. Rotation and then scan straight up and down, just guiding that energy to be true and flat and coherent within that layer. Our connection to God, the Creator, to Source, when it comes to our decisions and choices. Okay, excellent. And just come back to your heart. Just take a few deep breaths. See how that feels different. Nice, easy, steady breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. One last affirmation there for the highest and greatest good. My sixth auric layer is fully healed, sealed, and activated. My link to God and Creator to help me with my choices and decision making for the highest and greatest good. Okay, and then we'll push out one more inch, one more layer to the seventh. The seventh layer connects with spirit and spirits, broadcast spiritual decisions. Okay, very awesome layer for higher dimensional work, connecting with your oversoul, connecting with spirit, and other spirits, maybe your angels, your guides, your ancestors. Really nice, amazing layer. 7th layer. It's just as before. Scan up to the 3rd eye. And as you scan down, feeling any heaviness or any resistance or any temperature, any tingling, any sort of feedback from your system saying, here, I want you to do work here. If you feel a spot, start plucking. As I said before, it can also be at the sides, it doesn't have to be just in front. And if you lose your distance into where you are from the body, it's okay. Just have that intention of the 7th layer. The energy will pick up on that. It's very intelligent. It knows what you want. Okay, and then after you pluck, remember some nice soothing, nurturing rotation or healing. Healing and fully activating our 7th layer, which connects us to spirits, and also broadcasts spiritual decisions. So that term, broadcast spiritual decisions, so the layer before was our connecting to God and Creator to help us to make decisions and bring in that guidance for making choices. And this 7th layer, some of those choices and decisions we make, this has an attribute of broadcasting those spiritual decisions. Just sending the decisions you've made back up to the higher realms. So Source is learning from your experience and taking that information back for its own experience of life, as it experiences life through us, as well as itself, as we are an expression of Source itself. You can go up towards the crown as well, because we're working in the higher realms. Sorry, the crown is very active in the higher realms, in the higher spiritual realms of our Auric Layers. And we can do some work on the crown too. In Sekhem healing, the crown is very sacred to the individual and should mostly be only worked on by the individual themselves. Sekhem, which is the Egyptian Reiki. So as we're plucking and healing and rotating the 7th layer, our connection to spirit and spirits broadcasting our spiritual decision. Just creating that strong feedback loop between God, Creator, Source, and ourselves. The spirit and spirits, which could be our guides, our angels, our ancestors. We want to work on this layer so that their guidance and wisdom comes through, and we pick up on it and we hear it. Also, when they help with your self-healing, when you call them in, this layer will also help to make sure they can really help you and heal you. And just really let your hands guide you, feeling the vibrations of the energy, feeling the electricity, feeling the temperature, feeling any gravity, any pressure, any forces. And just really be free, let it take you wherever it wants the healing. Biofield is a part of us. It will be communicating to you on some energetic level. Always just really follow your intuition. Try not to think too much. And just let your hands move self-guided as if they have their own will. Okay. Any last plucking or soothing? And then from your crown third eye to your root, we'll do one last rotational healing all the way down to finalize, solidify this healing in the seventh layer. And then just scanning up and down a few times, just guiding it to be strong, straight, solid, and flowful. Okay, excellent, excellent. Keep going, everybody. Good work. Okay, and then we come back to the heart. 8th auric layer, 8 increments, 8 inches. Okay, so we're working quite a distance now from the body. So what I kind of do is when I count that 8th spot and I know that that's it, what I'll do when I'm working with this much distance, because it can be a strain on the arms, is I'll try and lock my shoulders. Really try to use your muscles and your energy to keep you locked in that field, so then you can move left, move right, and hold that distance, hold that position, stay within that layer. Nice and slowly, so it's not strenuous on the muscles or the ligaments. Okay. The 8th layer is one which broadcasts karma and absorbs powers. Okay. So twofold. So as we're coming into the 8th layer, I think we're moving into the celestial body, as it's got karma related to it. It's very much to do with the solar system, outer planetary bodies, and our place within the universe. And everything we do has a karmic knock-on effect. All the good things we do, all the bad things we do, all has a karmic effect. So I would feel that this was part of the celestial body. I think it's probably a bit of both Ketheric and celestial, still linking with God and Creator, as well as the solar system and the universe. So your intention here, for highest and greatest good, I heal my 8th auric layer, which broadcasts karma and absorbs powers. So depending on our karma, depending on the work we've done in this life and in our past life, that will ascertain what powers we are able to access, what power we're able to absorb from the universal life force energy, from the higher realms, from God creator, from source. So as we're working on ourselves, clearing all of these blocks, issues, traumas, anxieties, we are releasing karmic locks with the things that we've done in the past and in our past life. which has a knock-on effect of absorbs powers, how much power we absorb. How much of our powers, our spiritual powers, we are able to activate. So also a very cool layer. All of these cool layers are very, very cool. So just working as we did before, from the heart up to the third eye crown, scanning down, coming over the throat, coming over the heart, coming over the solar plexus, the sacral, the root, picking up on any frequencies, any feedback, any pressure, any indications that work is needed or something is trapped here. If you pick up on anything, pluck it out of the system and release it. And then the rotational healing to soothe and to energize that area, that spot within the 8th layer. Remember working as far as we can, wherever our hands are guided to our left, to our right, 180 degrees. Another step further that's just come to me to mention is, if there is something particularly that's gravitating to take you there, and you think, oh, this is a little bit stronger or heavier, what is that? Just then take note of where your hand actually is. So if it's above the heart, at the throat, the solar plexus, then you know that that could be a place that it comes back to. So as a secondary healing, you can note down, when I was in my 8th layer, there was a really strong force needed work on around my solar plexus. So then you can actually bring your hand in and do it to the physical layer of the solar plexus. And as we're doing that, we're working in our solar plexus with the intention of working on that layer's attribute. So you just switch your attention to, I'm working on that energy which is in my solar plexus, which is related to my broadcasting of karma and my absorbing ability of powers. Yeah? So you can do that with any layer, with any chakra. I feel I know that I've just made it more complicated there, but I'm just really trying to just give you many options as you can, and just really show you how depthful you can take self-healing. Okay, just working through the 8th layer, plucking and soothing. Coming back to the heart. Just tuning in, taking a few breaths. Feeling what that has done to your system, tuning into the difference. That was the 8th layer of broadcast karma absorbs powers. Okay, and we'll move to the 9th layer. 9 increments away from the body. And tuning into the 9th layer, which connects with others based on soul issues. Okay, connects with others based on soul issues. So this is relating to soul family and the higher purpose about our lives and connecting to the people around us, our friends and family, our parents, our sisters, brothers, people who you meet who you just know. I know this person, I've met them before, whether this life or that life, or this person gets me and I get this person. And that connection and chemistry is really strong. And those kind of instincts and those feelings are maybe picked up and resonated through this field, the 9th layer, which connects with others based on soul issues. So if you've kind of, what the term we call it is contracted up. So as we choose our lives in the soul realm and the time between lives, we choose who's going to be from our soul family or wider soul family to come and either help us or to bring challenge to us. And all of those are for us to work on the purposes, the soul tasks that we set for this life. And this layer really helps us to find these people, and when we find them, to really know and to realize the immense power of this relationship and how this has happened. And the meeting of this person wasn't coincidence, it was pre-written, and it was written for that exact moment and that exact time for that very purpose, whether it's a negative or a positive. Sometimes your soul family has come to give you a challenge, to upset you, and it'll be for a pre-written upgrade that you've put in for your life to face. Okay, so it goes both ways, good or bad. And soul family and soul groups are said to be about 7 to 8 people per group. And through some of the past life regression stories that have been written. And you can also have people who aren't in our direct soul family, who are in that 7 to 8 people in that group. And those 7 to 8 people you will meet in almost every life in some way or in some manner. One of those people, all those people will come into your life, whether it's when you're 10 or whether it's when you're 60. And it's all written in as markers, as chapters to come in for a significant event, period, or something for your learning, for the challenges you set. And there's one story where that's in the Journey of Souls, a book about past life regression into the soul realm. And this girl mentions how she meets her granddad when she leaves her body and she gets into the soul realm. She meets her granddad, and her granddad's there just to meet and greet her and reassure her that everything's okay. And then he kind of moves off And he's like, I can't be with you now that I've got to be somewhere else. But then you're kind of like guardian angel, or you kind of God comes and steps in and takes it from there. And then what that story kind of unveiled was that the granddad of this girl wasn't actually in her soul family. It was from another soul family. And he may have been of an older soul who roles himself in these guidance kind of roles. Even though he's there as a guide for you, he's not in your direct circle. So it's very interesting how it works. I know from my experience, like my granddad was epic spiritual leader, and he may not be directly from my soul family. You know, he was there for a job to do, to impart wisdom and do whatever he's done to activate me when I was a kid. You know, and then when I'll see him up there, it may be the case where he'll just come and meet me, but then he might actually, I'll find out that, oh, he's from some other epic group doing other epic things. And he just rolled up to help. So there's this hierarchical structure in the soul realm, and that's all to do with how many lives you've led, how much you've learned, how much you've evolved. And so you have a different place in the soul realm for wherever you're at. And it's all about non-judgment and all about love. And all those, even though it's a hierarchical system, it's not played out as we know how hierarchical systems work. Yeah. Okay, so I've just really gone off on a tangent there. That was the 9th layer. Okay, so just finishing up on the 9th layer. Connects with others based on soul issues. And just really soothing, giving up love and nurture to that layer to help us find our soul family when the time is right. As I've said, we don't want to bring them all in at once if it's not meant to be like that. Just really clearing it and making sure we're ready for it when it happens. And the ones that we've already met, this layer will help us know we've met them and who they are exactly. Affirmation you can have: highest and greatest good to self-heal my 9th Auric layer, my connection with others based on soul issues, my soul family, my wider soul family. Okay, and then coming back to the heart. I always just use a heart as a nice center point, the strongest electromagnetic field that it emits. So it's a good place to start and kind of tune into that layer, feel that feedback, and then working through from there. Okay, then we're going to come to the 10th layer now. So as I mentioned earlier, the 10th layer, it's our mirror's belief, and it serves as a second self. So it's very close to the body. So it's in between 1 and 2. So it's 1.5. It's in between 1 and 2. So if we use 1 and go a little bit out, okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have the intention of working on my 10th layer, which is close to my physical body. And this mirrors my beliefs, or just mirrors beliefs, serves as a second self. So it mirrors beliefs and it serves as a second self. So the second self almost is also saying that it's a mirror to yourself. So it mirrors your beliefs back to you. So you can really look at that and work on what you think and what you kind of rationalized for the way things are, what everything is. And the second self could also be our higher self. So this 10th layer, I think it serves as a relay, bringing all of that outer spiritual planes, etheric, celestial planes into the body. Mirrors beliefs, serves as a second self. I'm feeling in my system, it seems to be quite, the heaviness is in the lower chakras here. It's like around sacral solar plexus. It could be, maybe this is where these beliefs maybe reside. Or it could be to do with the beliefs about myself, particularly to do with that chakra. So it could be the solar plexus, which is your momentum, your drive, your confidence, your inner sun, your inner charge. It could be something to do with my own beliefs about myself, to do with my own drive and my own steadfastness. Maybe when you have those insecurities and self-consciousness about certain attributes of yourself, or it could be in the heart, and that could be something to do with your beliefs around love, your beliefs around your relationships, your belief around self-love, around lovings of self. Throw area could be beliefs around your expression in terms of what you've got to say needs to be heard, or whether you think it's worthy of being heard. Healing our 10th auric layer serves as our second self. If it serves as our second self, really important layer to work on. Okay. Rounding off that healing of the 10th layer, one nice rotational, soothing, nurturing movement through the whole system in that layer. The 10th layer, which is in between the first and second layer. And coming back to the heart. And just again, if you want, you can always just go through the circuit again just to ensure the energy is channeled, bringing the energy from the crown to the third eye to the throat to the heart, and the heart splits to the arms, comes out the palms. If you need to, if you feel like to, just throw that there. Okay, so the 11th auric layer. Starting from our heart, we come out 11 inches, 11 increments. Okay, so this commandeers force. So this is the layer which helps you command your force, command your power, command your electromagnetic force, energetic force. And this is a good layer to work on if you want to increase like intuitive powers, psychic ability, empathic abilities, all those different things that you can call force or power. I can feel quite tingly. Obviously, if it's commandeers force, there should be quite a lot of electromagnetism running through that layer. Just see if you can tune in and pick up on the difference between that and the one before. And if not, that's all good. You're there doing the work. It will feel different next time. Affirmation here, if the highest and greatest good, I heal, I self-heal my 11th auric layer, which commandeers force. It commands force, commands my force, commands the force of the universal life into my system. Commands force into my body, commands force into my muscles, into my nerves, into every inch of my being. Commands the force that's running through my hands. So the work we do in this will help everything have balance, have coherence, true force, pure focused force. The 11th layer. Remember to let your hands go free, let them guide you. Let them follow their own intuition of where to go and where to heal. Also in these outer layers which we're working on, which are now part of the etheric template, which is our energetic life energy or prana distribution connection, our etheric template. These last couple of layers has to do with energy distribution. You see Commandeer's Force. And then the next one we're going to do, which is our energy egg, connects human and divine selves, all about connection and distribution of energy. So sometimes in these outer layers, as they're so energetic and as such electromagnetism, there can be a lot of attraction and pull of heavier energies here. Some of the things that can reside in these outer energies, outer layers are particularly things to do with around our birth and our childhood, are all the traumas or the events, the anxieties, they all reside on these outer layers. So if you want to tune into anything particularly around that, just the way it works is like the tree rings of a tree that show its age. So the very inner ring is the oldest, and the outer ring is the youngest, the newest layer. So in that, if we say that with a human being, it's like the layers which are closest to us have the traumas or the events related to our current present. So like I have stuff that's from when I'm 37, which is this year, closer to the body, and when I'm a kid, all lingering on the outside of the layers, on the outer layers. If that makes sense. I made that a bit long-winded. It's meant to be a simple concept. Okay, well then let's move to the last layer then after that one, which is the 12th layer. A very outer layer links with the energy egg, connects human and divine self. And so you can see in the diagram that it's depicted as quite a thick characteristic compared to the other layers. It's got a reflective, silvery, metallic structure to it. So it's called the energy egg, or energy egg. It links with the energy egg. So it's connecting human and divine self. So the very outer layer, connecting us with our human divine self. It's connecting to the divinity that lays within us, pumping it through all of our layers from the very outer layer. Holding us is our layer of divinity, connecting us to our divine self. The outer layer, closer and connecting to our soul, our main oversoul, our source of our soul, which looks down upon us from the heavens above. from the higher realms. And when I say oversoul, I mean, because this human body doesn't have the capacity to take the entirety of our whole soul expression. So what people kind of tuned into is that we have a fraction, a segment of our soul's power here, and the rest of it is still there in the soul realm, doing other things, living other lives. It could be 3 lives going at once, depending on the power of your soul and how much work that soul has done. Can live multiple lives. So this outer shell, our 12th auric layer, connects us to human and divine self. Could be our oversoul, could also connect us to our other multiple lives. If we have another root living somewhere in a different dimension or in a different body, that's just absolutely mind-blowing to think about. But it's a nice thought to think that there's maybe 2 or 3 of you floating about doing this crazy stuff. And then also that you can connect to it and bring that energy in. So why not? Why not? And even if it doesn't exist, we made it exist by having the thought of that it exists. So you've just created another source of energy, basically. A duplicate version of yourself, drawing that energy in. So just let you focus now. 12th auric layer, energy egg, connects us to our human divine self. So 12 is full on stretch for me. It's really now as we're on the outer, taking your hands all around you now, as if you see your egg or energy egg, the outer layer of our field, healing, clearing, harmonizing our connection to our divine self, removing any blockages around our childhood, our younger years, all residing as well in these outer layers. Really using the expanse of your arms to spread all that healing through all of the edge of that layer, all surfaces of that outer layer. Really bringing in our divinity, our connection to our human divine self. To just round off all the layers there, we're just going to bring the energy back into the chakra, into each chakra, just linking all the work we've done back to the chakra. So we just start, hands all stretched out as we're on the very end layer. We're just going to bring that slowly all the way to the third eye. And just bring your hands, touch the third eye. And just imagine your third eye as a vortex just sucking in, harmonizing the energy all the way from the third eye, all the way through all those layers to the 12th layer. Nice deep breath in and out. Okay, same with the throat, come all the way to the outside. Slowly bring it into the throat chakra vortex. Harmonizing the layers in tune with the throat that reside around the throat area. And then the heart. Looking down all the way out from the heart. Bringing it all the way through all those layers, connecting it back to the heart chakra vortex. And this is just kind of any kind of displaced energies that might still be there. Through the work we've done, if we've missed anything, we're just like harmonizing that back with each chakra. Okay, so then the heart, and then the solar plexus, bringing it from all the way to the edge, the outer layer, all the way into the solar plexus. And then the sacral. And then your root. Okay. And just come back to the heart. Earlier on, we started with bringing the energy from the crown to the heart, and so we're going to finish by sharing the energy down, which will then lead us to our grounding with the earth chakra, earth star chakra. So from the heart, imagine the energy, universal life force energy coming from our crown to our third eye, to our throat, to our heart. Ultraviolet, indigo purple, blue, green. Okay, we take our hands down to the solar plexus. As we bring in solar plexus, which is our yellow ray, sun, our inner sun. Just imagine the heart connecting with the solar plexus, the green and the yellow. Connecting in solar plexus to the heart, to the throat, to the third eye, to the crown. Just see that on a line, on a golden line, a golden pathway. taking the hands down to the sacral, index fingers on the belly button. Sacral just sits below the belly button. Sacral is orange. And just see on that golden pathway, orange, yellow, green. Connecting with the top set, which is the throat's blue, third eye is purple, crown is ultraviolet white. Seeing that sacral with orange, with the yellow, with the green, and so on. Connecting it up with the rest of our system. And then take your hands down to the root. Our root chakra, which is red. And just see at the end of that golden pathway that we can draw from our root all the way to the third eye. You can see the red of the root connected with the orange of the sacral, the yellow of the solar plexus, the green of the heart, the blue of the throat, purple of the third eye, the white of the crown. Okay, and from there, just draw out the red cords from our root chakra. As they connect beneath our feet to our Earth Star chakra, which is dark red brown color. So we're going to connect our root to the Earth Star chakra via these red cords. As we have the intention of grounding for our highest and greatest good. Start to see the energy drip and dissolve downwards from the crown to the third eye, to the throat, coming down the chest to the heart, coming down your ribs to the solar plexus, into your abdomen, the sacral, into your hips for the root, and then passing down your legs, down your feet, out your feet, into the Earth Star chakra below us, about 5 inches below our feet. I see the Earth Star chakra connected to the earth via those red cords. So we've got our root connected to our Earth Star chakra connected all the way into the Earth's core. Those red cords just keep growing, going through all the rock, all the different layers, joining up with the center of the earth, the magma, the lava, the molten rock. And you see yourself connected to the Earth's core via Earth Star chakra, your root chakra, the roots coming out of your feet. And see your biofield, your auric field, your ether, your bioplasma, which you're surrounded and protected by your bubble of plasma. See all of those layers, those 12 layers, glistening. See them as being solid, with no gaps, no tears, no rifts. smooth and true. See any residues remaining from the healing we've done today, just start to drain off each layer. You can see it dripping like soap suds after a window cleaner's wash the window. Just see it draining down, taking all that heaviness, all that grit. Anything that we've cleared today that might be still hanging around. You see the 12th layer, our energy egg layer. You see that any of those heavy energies that we've cleared just dripping off this outer shell, down into the root chakra, down into the earth star chakra, down those red cords straight into the earth's core. You're starting to feel fully grounded. All layers connected to the earth star chakra. Any of those heavinesses, any of those things we've cleared, draining down into the earth. Start seeing yourself in your perfect biofield. Revitalized and energized from the healing you've done today. Strong filters are up, protections are drawn, connections are thriving. Just take that last glimpse of yourself encompassed in this plasma bubble, your biofield, your auric field, your etheric field, all the spiritual layers, astral layers, physical layers, vibrating in harmony. And start to bring your awareness back into the room, slowly coming back to the body. Bringing your awareness back through all those layers. You come back into your body, into your physical body. Slowly open your eyes. Coming back into the room. Stretch out your legs as we sat down for a while there. Stretch your legs out, wiggle your toes, rotate your ankles clockwise and anti-clockwise. Wiggling your toes. Coming down, hands stretched out, heart leading. Reach your toes or your ankles as far as you feel comfortable, stretching out the legs. And slowly back up. Shaking out the arms. Stretch your arms forward. Stretch them above. Stretch it behind you. Twist pelvis side to side. Rotate the shoulders. Okay, that's the end of class. We've gone a little bit over there because I went on a bit about that soul realm stuff, but I hope it was useful and informative. I think I talked for 10 minutes there. But anyway, whatever said was meant to be said. I hope you enjoyed it. Look after yourselves tonight, drink plenty of water. You know, there was some really higher realms, spiritual planes work there. Hydrate, look after yourselves, eat well, and have a nice rest tonight. Wake tomorrow and see how you feel after all of that. See what dreams you have tonight as you've connected with your divine self. Do any journaling, anything that comes up. And if anything interesting or anything at all that comes up and you want to share it with me, please do. Okay. All right, see you later then.
Thanks, Ruth. Thank you. It's great. Thanks.
See you next time. Bye.